You brought up a good point because, like, especially in the inner city, back then, like the awareness about mental health wasn't, very prominent, but also we're not very taught coping mechanisms that are healthy to deal with
Yeah.
things, especially amongst minorities, right? It's
Yes.
so that's an amazing thing that in today's day and age, it's become more of a more of something that is preached.
Yes, and I respect it to the fullest. I had a book and I wanted to show you. Let me see. I'm gonna walk to the living room so you can see
Okay.
this book. But um okay, so I don't know if you've seen like my stories on Instagram, but I share about mental health and I respect it to the fullest because I had just been diagnosed with PTSD and severe anxiety, and this is something that was work related, but not just because it was work related, but also because it was well, it was work related, something that was out of my control. So, I grew up in the neighborhood. Yes, I grew up working in a corporate office. I grew up different, different kind of environments. And at my age, I wasn't able to tell this company that was mistreating me so wrong to go fuck themselves and shove their job up their ass, right? I had to maintain what I said. I had to watch what I said. I had to be, professional, cordial. But I really snapped because I couldn't do what I really wanted to do and say because of my age. I was, worried. Am I going to find another job? Can I find another job? Was I going to struggle? But it really took a toll on me. And June 30th, I've been out of work for mental health issues. And I really respect the people that have severe trauma than what I have. I sit there in group and I listen to these, people's story and the trauma that they went through growing up, and I'm like, man, I'm just here because of work. These ones are here because they had severe trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So I really respect it. I started after the accounting for 10 years that I was doing. I got into doing gang intervention, and I started working with youth in the communities, and I really took to liking to it. It really opened up a whole new door in the world for me. I went from working with incarcerated veterans. I worked with people just that were incarcerated in general. Um, I was case managing, helping them with housing, getting them back on their feet, with food stamps and started, however which way I could help them, I was doing. And it really helped me to get where I'm at today. And I found my calling just doing the line of work that I was doing. Um, and I like to help people. I've always been that way since I was young. And I never realized it. My mom was the one that always told me that I was always bringing the runaways home. My house was a go-to house when I was young. And it was like, when I think about it now, like, oh shoot, it really was, I did everything. They all came to my house. I would tell them, you know, I'll get their numbers, mom. We'll call their mom. Don't worry, or whatever, right? Just so that they wouldn't get in trouble. But this is a book. Let me show you really quick. I think I can just put it this way. It's by Sad Girl Angel Olivas, and
Oh
it's a
wow.
it's an activity book. But she also has another one out on her life, that she talks about. But I really took to this one. Just came out. You can get it on Amazon, and I really took to liking to it. And I it was a trip that she actually came out with an activity book like this, because I was at the 99-cent store the other day and I bought a crossword puzzle because I wanted something to distract my mind.
Right.
So when I seen that book, I was like, oh, I gotta order your book.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, first, I want to say sorry to hear that you've been out of work since June, you said, right?
Yeah.
And can you talk about what caused the PTSD? I know you said it was work related.
They kept so I was offered, when I got the position, I was offered to work from home, and it was a 5-year contract. All I was doing was outbound calls. I wasn't going to do case management no more, but it was working with clients that were receiving Medi-Cal, whether they were just out of jail, homeless, whatever this, mostly, majority of it was like homeless population. And my supervisor ended up quitting and getting another job, and they gave the position to one of my coworkers, and um it just went downhill from there. They were always trying to pick on me about working from home. They try to get me to come in the office, and I refused because I was like, nope, that's not what was offered to me. It was just so much going on. They were sending me text messages, emails, and well, it's not going to work. You can't do this. You can't work from home. You have to be in the office full time, and I refused. But before she left, my supervisor, we made accommodations for me to work 4 hours in the office and then the rest at home. And it stood like that. But when she left, that's when all the harassment and they kept messing with me to come in and wanting me to work. I was like, I'm not going to do it. You guys offered me something. I'm going to, what you offered me, that's what I'm going with. So they made it, hell for me. All of a sudden, my work was failing. I wasn't up to par with it. And he was trying to find mistakes. And I'm like, there's nothing there that you could, that you could find because I wasn't making any mistakes. It was outbound calls. How could I make a mistake?
Right.
So there wasn't really like hard, for me to make a mistake. Um, then they started bringing up my lunch hours, and because I would leave at 12 o'clock and I would come home and clock in for lunch. Um, it was going over the fifth hour. Just the most that they were trying to find, they were trying to do to me, and I was like, whatever. One day we had a meeting and he started being very like condescendent, and the supervisor had like um, I don't know, just like I want to say, he was just acting like a little bitch, you know, straight little bitch, right? And he had the face that you just want to sock, and because he would talk to you and I would have to tell him, stop talking to me.
Vero, I saw that you were trying to be the nice new version, and then you went back to that old school right there.
I'm like, come on, But he was trying, and then he would talk to me like I'm a child, and I told him that a couple of times, like, I'm not a fifth grader. We're adults here. Talk to me like an adult. Like I can take constructive criticism. I can handle it. I'm not weak, but don't try to belittle me and talk to me like I'm this kid. And so we had a meeting, and he was doing his tone of voice, his little rolling eyes, and blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what? I'm ending this Zoom meeting because I wouldn't meet him in person because I was afraid of what I would have done to him. Because all I saw was my fist just hitting his face. And I knew that moment, I was like, I need to get out of this environment because I'm going to flip and I'm going to go to jail or something's going to happen.
Too toxic.
Yeah, very toxic. So I excused myself from the meeting, and he threatened with writing me up for insubordination. I told him, I don't care what you do. I'm excusing myself. I don't like the way I'm feeling. I don't like the environment you're putting me in. And I ended up in the emergency and haven't been back to work since.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you feel like you had like a panic attack or what?
I had a really severe panic attack, and then that was actually urgent care that I went into. And then 3 days later, I ended up in the emergency because I couldn't control the feeling of what I was feeling. I couldn't control my head felt like it was swelling up like a balloon. I kept telling my husband that I wanted to just pop my head like with scissors to release the pressure, and those thoughts were scaring me. So I ended up in the emergency, and since then I've been in group. I have therapists that I meet with, psychiatrists that I meet with. They have me on medication, and it really took a lot for me to accept that, but I know I needed help. And when I called my husband, I was like, you need to take me to the emergency. Something's wrong.